Hey guys, it's DarthJarJar, and ever since I started this channel, I've been getting a lot of questions about Giant Three Musketeers. When are you gonna show me Giant Three Musketeers? I don't have minor. What can I play instead? I'm like, really, in the chip cycle deck, you're not gonna have a good supper minor. So I spent a lot of time over the past few days experimenting with a lot of different Giant Three Musketeer decks, and you can see the result on the left side of this video right now. And I'm about to discuss the deck in further detail, but as you can see, I was able to get a 12-win grand challenge with this deck after several attempts with other decks that were not quite as successful, but eventually was able to get it. Anyways, let's take a look at the deck list here. I'm going to discuss it a bit. So, kind of your main tanks are going to be your Giant and your Knight. You're going to have your minions as your main air support, and then archers as well as kind of your range support. That's the slot that's a lot of people like to put a musketeer in, but I chose archers because I really like how archers counter graveyard, and as well with their range, they can take out a graveyard from far away. So against graveyard poison, that's really nice because you can usually place your archers far enough away that they won't be in the poison as opposed to the minions. A lot of people like to put log instead of skeletons here, but I personally prefer skeletons because I like getting a lot of pumps down, translating that elixir advantage. Even though it's not, strictly a cycle deck, it's a lot easier to cycle the deck to get more pumps down when you have the skeletons than when you have the logs. So that's my personal preference there. So, anyways, let's head into the last three matches that I used to win the grand challenge. You're gonna have to scroll down a bit here, but so let's watch this match here. We're going to actually watch this at 2x speed since this isn't too common of a matchup. I do get asked about Hog sometimes though, and there isn't a direct Hog counter in this deck, so you can see how I handle it here. Here I'm going to zap the Elixir Pump because I didn't have a better play, and I wanted to cycle my Elixir Pump. Don't be afraid to do kind of weird plays like that to get your cycle kind of right. Here the Hog minions come in. I'm going to play my Knight and my Skeletons to do enough damage. He freezes, so I play my Archers and zap. So he has a good princess here, but I'm gonna pump again. I'm trying to get that elixir advantage because notice against Hog, you're not always gonna be able to stop all the damage. So don't expect to. You gotta expect to take a bit of damage, get some elixir pumps up, and punish him later in the game. And that's what you're gonna say here. Here I started up my Giant in the back to start up my Giant Three Musketeers push. He makes a big mistake by playing his mini P.E.K.K.A in the back. Now my Musketeer and minions are gonna shred it. I get the Knight out in front as well, and he has to freeze the other side. And meanwhile, I have a totally big push coming in. He has to spend a lot of elixir and still doesn't quite stop it. And my musketeer just out his princess, so I'm way ahead in elixir, way ahead in towers, obviously. So at this point, the game's basically over, but we can watch the rest as well. It's a bit of a fun ending. He tries to Hog freeze, but I have three musketeers ready in hand. As you can see, I just have so much more elixir than him because I was able to get pumps down more successfully. That's what I really like about skeletons over log in this deck. Anyways, I just keep putting troops down and eventually 3-count him. So showing you there, you got to take some damage sometimes. That was a better matchup for me because he had freeze rather than fireball, but the same principle really applies when you're playing against Hog Fireball. Is sometimes you got to take some damage and then convert it later on in the game to a win. Okay, now we're going to watch two common matchups that I've been having a lot of questions about recently. So here we're going to watch my game against Lava Hound Loon. We're going to speed up and then we're going to go back to 1x now. Okay, so here I'm facing a Lava Loon deck. I don't know yet, but he plays the Lava Hound. I'm going to pump up. I played the pump right before he played the Lava Hound. If he had played the Hound first, I probably would have pumped up in the back right corner as to not allow him to get a lot of value on the lightning like he's about to do. But the lightning does come out, but it's right as I accidentally play my archers instead. Like, maybe I should have waited a bit longer to see if he was going to lightning, but really, I think I just got a bit unlucky there because now I didn't have enough elixir to play my three musketeers to punish him for having his lightning out of hand. So he does get some damage off there. And I don't have enough elixir for a giant, but I'm going to try to protect my three musketeers at least a little. So I'm going to put the skeletons in front. And then see what he's going to play. I notice I select my zap before he even plays the skeleton army because you have to think about what decks your opponent could possibly have. I know skeleton army is in a lot of Lava Hound decks. Lava Loon deck specifically. So I had that zap ready for the skeleton army and got off some damage because of that. So now I'm at elixir advantage because he was forced to play a lot of stuff to stop my three musketeers without his lightning. And I'm going to pump up again. As I said, the key to this deck is getting pumps up, as any three musketeer deck really. But anyways, he's going to play the Lava Hound in the back. I'm going to push the same side. Now, my strategy against lightning is going to be to bunch up my giant and knight and then place my Three Musketeers right next to them, so he can't lightning all three of them. And if he waits for the giant and knight to walk away far enough away, by that time his lava hound will already be shredded. So I'm going to start out with the giant, and then I'm waiting, and then once his lava hound gets in range and I get up to full elixir, I'm going to put my Three Musketeers down right next to the tower and giant, so it's almost impossible to lightning just those three. He ends up hitting the giant and 2 musketeers. I get the knight down as well to tank some of these lava pups, and I was pretty happy with that exchange. I'm looking at his minions shredding my giant and knight, so I placed my minions down, although he does get the skeleton army down, so well played by him. I zap a bit late, but we didn't take much damage there, and we got an elixir pump up successfully without getting punished. Now we're going to go for another elixir pump. So really happy about the way this game's going so far. You got to get those elixir pumps out, then you'll be able to push through. So again, we're going to start with the giant in the back. This time we're going to play our knight as well, just for extra protection against that lightning. It's going to be really hard for him to lightning our 3 musketeers to place them down. We don't want to place our 3 musketeers just yet, since we want to also get them near the towers. The tower also has to act as protection. And then here we go. We're going to get the minions down because we also really want to make sure this balloon doesn't get through. We give him a value arrows, but my number one concern is that I really didn't want the balloon to get a shot on my tower. Anyways, we have a giant and a knight push coming in. We have the zap ready, and we zap the skeleton army again. And really, he just can't stop this push at this point. He's at too much of an elixir disadvantage. He doesn't have anything to play. He plays the balloon, which is going to take out my musketeers, but my giant and knight are on his tower, and that's GG. So that's kind of showing you right there how you're going to want to play against lava, loon, lightning. So I hope that helps if you were struggling with this particular deck. Okay, so now perhaps the most common deck in high level play right now, and a lot of people would consider it overpowered even, is you know, the infamous Graveyard Poison. And especially this is usually a bad matchup for 3 Musketeers with Electro Wizard and Bowler. Are really tough to get through with a sort of Giant 3 Musketeers deck with no direct damage besides zap. But I'm going to show you how I did it in this final game of the Grand Challenge that I won. So we're going to play this at 1x speed because I think this is a common matchup and I really want to get into the details as much as possible. I'm going to play the archers in the back here because I don't have a better opening play. That allows me to cycle to my collector. He leaks a little bit, not sure what to play. So once I see the knight, I'm thinking this guy is probably either Graveyard Poison, maybe RG, or 3 Musketeers. So those are the 3 main possibilities. Once he plays the poison, I pretty much narrow it down to just he's probably Graveyard Poison, because if you think about it, RG and 3 Musketeers never have poison in their decks. So here's something that's going to be key throughout the video is when you're playing against Graveyard Poison, this is something that I actually didn't used to do, and now I do it as much as possible, is you really want to make sure you don't let the troops that they want to tank for the graveyard get across the bridge. So normally, if he had a graveyard in hand, although he actually doesn't this time, but let's say he has a graveyard in hand, he's going to play it right before his Electro Wizard crosses the bridge, and then his Electro Wizard is going to tank for the graveyard, right? But if right as he plays the graveyard, you play the knight down at the bridge and prevent the Electro Wizard from crossing, the graveyard is going to be so much less effective because he won't have anything tanking for it. So that is what I do here. I actually play the knight before the Electro Wizard gets in Tower Fire, and it doesn't actually end up doing much this time because his graveyard wasn't in hand. But when their graveyard is in hand, it really annoys them because they can't tank for the graveyard properly, and it's a lot easier to counter. So now he actually goes in for the Bowler Graveyard, and as you can see, I do have my minions in hand, so I'm going to use my minions, and he actually doesn't have enough elixir for poison, so as I said about this deck, I really like having the double graveyard counter, so even though I just played my archers, I still had my minions ready. So here, I could start up a Giant 3 Musketeers push, but I'd rather cycle to my pump. You can see my pump is my next card, so I'm going to play those archers. Even though they're going to get poisoned, that's not the end of the world. I'm going to put my pump down just outside of poison radius and pump up. I don't want to start a Giant 3 Musketeers push until I'm confident I have a good elixir lead. So now I'm going to start up my giant. I have 2 pumps up, and I got to 10 and he hadn't played anything. So I know I have a confident elixir advantage now. I'm going to play the 3 Musketeers, 2 going to the other side, 1 going to the giant side, kind of the classic split push setup. And he plays Bowler on the other side, so I know I can throw that knight down without worry of that whole push being taken out by Bowler. I see the Inferno Tower, and I barely played the minions down in time to take those Inferno shots. And now I don't have to use my zap on the Inferno because the minions took all the shots. I'm getting a lot of damage on the left side. I'm getting in a bit of damage on the right side as well. But he throws in a Value Lecture Wizard. I think I overextended here as well with these 9 minions. I think I should have just let my push go and pumped up. But I think I actually made a bit of a mistake there with overextending into his poison, the knight and the minions there. And so yeah, I'm forced to go in with the 3 Musketeers here. I probably could have punked, but here I try again. I try to get the giant down in time, but the knight had already crossed the bridge. So notice how much more effective that graveyard is when something's tanking for it. He gets a lot of damage off there. So I did make a bit of a mistake during that sequence. I think I overextended. I should have just pumped up and waited and then defended. But I did overextend a bit, but we can come back in this game. We're still ahead on tower damage. And so we're gonna get our giant in front to tank, of course. Getting our minions ready for the Inferno Tower. We play them, but they're a bit too late. Let's see if we can get the zap down in time. We get it down, but the giant's still pretty much dead. And this guy's defending pretty well, so we're not getting through too well at this point. Play my knight down again, and we're gonna get the 3 Musketeers out as well, I believe. You can see this time I didn't let his stuff cross the bridge, so his graveyard has nothing tanking for it. If his graveyard has something tanking for it, it would have already killed my tower by now. But I was able to buy a lot of time to get the archers down. Then I put the giant in front of my musketeer, and I'm gonna go all in here with the counter push. He just played his poison, so I know I can play kind of stack these musketeers, archers and minions without worrying too much. He gets his lecture wizard down, but it doesn't do what he wants it to, and we're gonna get through. We're gonna win this game. So one thing I do want to talk about is, this kind of might be a discrepancy is what I said. Is I said I always want to push once I get those pumps up, but the exception to that is if you really think he can punish you. So if I had pumped when I had 1,000 health left on my tower, when I wasn't far enough ahead in Elixir, then I get screwed over. He plays like Bowler Graveyard or Night Graveyard, and then I just lose the game. Maybe Night Graveyard Poison as an example, but I was kind of scared that if I pumped there, I would get punished. So for the last like two minutes of the game, I didn't pump at all. But early game, you always want to be pumping, getting into that elixir advantage when you have enough health left on your towers that it's not too risky. So now we're gonna open the grand challenge test, see what we got in, and then we'll head into maybe 1 or 2 live battles on the ladder. So we got the gold, the goblin hut, the 3 musketeers. We got our max stack there. Skeleton army, poison, bowler, fire spirits, elixir pumps. That's good. Those are in my ladder decks definitely. Musketeers, spear goblins, archers. That's nice. Getting closer to max, and we got some witches. So now we're gonna head into battle with this deck. Let's see how we do. It is teched against Graveyard Poison, because I got annoyed because I kept losing to it a lot. And that's not as common on ladders and challenges, so I'm not sure how great it is on ladder, but we're going to try this out against Bruno CM from Orange Juice. We don't have a great play here. We're going to wait and see what he does if he doesn't move. And if he doesn't move as well, then we're going to... Okay, so we actually dropped a knight there. I probably should have just dropped Zap. I was kind of... just dropped my knight because I was already hovering on it, and it might have taken too long to switch to Zap. But, the knight's fine there. It's going to absorb. We're going to get our skeletons down to hopefully shut down that miner. Elite Barb's coming in, and this is not going to be good for us. Let's just say that. He did a good job punishing us. So we took some damage, not an overwhelming amount. I normally wouldn't tank for these archers, but I only need 1 more card to get back to my elixir pump. So I am going to play the knight in front of those archers. Well played to him with an efficient defense. We're gonna get down skeletons to take out this princess. Okay, minions for the miner and zap to take out this fire spirits. Oh wow, he saved his princess. I didn't even see that. So we're gonna get our archers down, hopefully take that out. Yeah, wow, he's playing really well. We're not looking in too good shape just because we're down a lot in tower damage, and we only have a 1 like very small health elixir pump down. And well played by him, sending in those goblins. I was just going to ignore the ice wizard, but he recognized that. Makes me respond. So he's played this really well so far. Wonder if he'll send in elite barbs again. I might be in trouble. Oh no, it was kind of unfortunate that I believe I didn't have skeletons in hand last time he sent them in. If I did, I think it would have gone a lot better. Oh, right. It was because I played them on the minor, right? Those minor elite barbs has really been doing well against me. So well played to Bruno CM. These live battles. I don't think I'm going to end up taking this, but we're going to try to set up a split push here. We're going to wait until that princess locks onto the tower because we don't want her doing damage to my precious musketeers. Let's get a knight down. Okay. We're going to get some minions down, kind of place them kind of towards the middle. Okay, so I'm fine with that attacking my knight. I'll zap if it ever gets onto my giant, but it doesn't. And wow, we're getting some damage in here. I'm going to get this giant down kind of early to start tanking, make sure I don't take too much damage from the elite barbs. And wow, we got a lot of damage on that split push there. So I think we did have a bit of an elixir advantage because he may have overextended trying to punish with his elite barbs. And that's what allowed us to get in maybe. I'm going to split my 3 musketeers. At first I was going to split them higher, but I realized that my push was kind of dead. I probably should have split them even lower actually. Okay, so now we just have to defend for a bit longer. We're going to get this giant down, just a meat shield in front. I think we're going to take this game. So good game to Bruno CM. A very close match. I thought he was going to win, but maybe a good matchup for us. Maybe he just overextended with those elite barbs. He got some damage in, but I think it might have put him just too far down in elixir, and they were also his best response to our 3 musketeers. So that is another benefit of hiding the 3 musketeers and going for pumps early game is your opponent might waste their best counters to your 3 musketeers if they don't really sniff out your deck. So we're going to go in for one more live battle. You know, I'm feeling good after that one. Win or lose, we'll probably learn something. If we'll lose, we'll look back at it, try to figure out what we did wrong if we couldn't figure it out during the game. We're up facing another level 12. So he plays Tombstone, so that makes me think he's either running Lava Loon or Golem. Yep, here comes the Lava Hound, so he's probably running Lava Loon. We're going to get our archers down. I see that my 3 musketeers are going to be in cycle soon, so I'm going to put my knight down. And then I'm going to put my 3 musketeers down right next to my tower and my knight. See how this works out. We are going to zap here, actually. Yeah, I think he hit... Okay, so he hit my knight and 2 of my musketeers, so that was a successful protection. I was thinking about playing my giant in front, but I really don't want to overextend. I really want to make sure I get these pumps down, especially in the early game, as I discussed. We're going to get minions down here because we need to clean up that skeleton army. I'm looking to set up a giant here soon. Guessing we're going to reach full elixir at about the same time he does, maybe? We're going to set up a giant here. Yeah, okay, so he gets those minions in behind. We're going to try to pull them. Yep, we pull them to the side. We get our archers out. Ooh, wow, we kind of misplayed that a bit. We're going to try to play our 3 musketeers in such a way that it will be very hard for him to hit all 3. He'll probably hit the tower. We're going to put our knight down right as we think he's going to lightning. We get it down just a bit late. And he does make a very well-placed lightning. He hits all 3 musketeers, so we'll give him a well played for that. Nice job. I think we could have played that exchange a bit better. Our archers should have killed his minions, I think, if we played that properly. But we're still not too far behind, I think. The pumps are really keeping us in this game. That's the great thing about the pumps is you can sometimes make mistakes as well. Yeah, he's setting up for another Lava Loon push here. Okay, let's get this down here. He throws the arrows, so we're going to put down our minions. Man, he got a lot of damage off there, but hopefully we have a good enough counter push here. We have a lot of stuff coming in. We're going to zap all that. He tries to get those minions down. One musketeer doesn't survive. Wow. I think he might beat us here. We're going to try. We're going to try. If we lose, we're going to review, see what we could have done better. Let's get our giant down. Oh, no. Oh, man. I don't think that was a good decision by us, actually. Maybe even just to play all 3 musketeers in the same lane. We're going to try, though. Oh, come on. Let's get our zap down. Okay, good. Oh, man. Oh, we overextended. That was a bad night. Guys, we're not playing too well here, I think. Let's try to pull these back, maybe. Let's get our knight down. Oh my goodness. Good game, well played. Now let's go back and let's look at what I did wrong, because I know I made a lot of misplays there. I really should win that matchup, so let's watch. He was over leveled than us, but I really think we should still win. We're gonna go at 2 times speed until we find a spot that we think we made a mistake. If I pump, this is definitely fine. He throws in the Lava Hound, so we're gonna go with our archers. Knight, maybe we probably should have played our knight farther up so that they would tank, like, for example, the Mega Minion. We get our 3 muskies down. He hits the knight and 2 of them. I don't know, maybe that knight was fine, because we're still so far ahead right now. Like, we get a pump down. We have 2 pumps down now, and he is 0. Even though we're behind, we have the 2 pumps on the board, so we really should be ahead. I think this giant was a mistake. I think I should have just been playing these, maybe the archers, maybe the knight, just something less committal. Because, yeah. I mean, I know he's gonna drop a Lava Hound in front of the minions, so essentially by dropping 5 elixir in the back, that's not gonna do anything against this Lava Hound. I think that was a really bad play, actually. And then, yeah, so what I needed to do here was play these archers farther back so that these minions would lock on to the giant, and then my archers would shoot them down instead of playing my archers so far up. That was another mistake. We're gonna get our 3 muskies down. I think this is fine, putting them right next to the tower. We get our knight down, and we try to get that in time to prevent the lightning. We're gonna pump again. See what we make a mistake. I think this is where we made some big mistakes here. Let's see. Honestly, I'm not sure if there's anything we did wrong there. I think we just did badly on the counter push. Let's see. Yeah, we needed to have Zap ready. The Skeleton Army did too much because we didn't have Zap ready. We need to be hovering that. And then, wow, his arrows killed our archers. Actually, what cost us a lot is, I probably still could have won, but that level disadvantage cost us a lot because if you didn't see, his arrows actually killed our archers. And then, that was another mistake. We didn't place our 3 musketeers close enough to the knight so that we need to, like, surround the knight with the 3 musketeers. I placed them a bit farther back, and that was a huge mistake for me. So he got an extremely value lighting there. So we kind of just threw away our advantage. Again, his arrows killed our archers, so we can't do much against that. And then that was another overextension. Once I placed that knight, the game was over. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we can watch the rest, but, like, really. So you saw, hopefully you guys saw what mistakes I made there, how I kind of tried to figure out what I did wrong and what I'm going to try to fix. So the main things I'm going to try to fix in the future, maybe you guys want to keep in mind as well, are making sure you always protect those muskies a bit better, placing them a bit closer to your tank. Don't place something 5 elixir in the back. That's not going to help you on to counter a 10 elixir push that you know is coming in. I knew he was going to play that hound in front of those minions, and I should have at least played that giant maybe a bit farther up to tank. Kind of just some mechanics issues there, and then I'm trying to make sure not to overextend. A few times, once or twice, I think I threw in a knight behind my push that really wasn't going to do anything. So, anyways, gonna show the deck list one more time, even though it's on the side. I'll show the large version. I hope you guys try it out, and I hope it works for you. I really think it's pretty strong right now, especially with all the graveyard decks and the lava loon decks. And yeah, I hope it works for you, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks, and see you guys next time.